Hey guys, just got another excellent question in the comment section. This time it's from a guy who went on an extreme diet, got down to 8% body fat, and now he's asking if I recommend after that diet that he does a carb refeed. Okay. So first of all, he's asking about a refeed, and he asked on a video I made about how long you could stay on an extreme diet. Basically, what the video was about is the less fat you have to burn, the harder it's going to be to stay on an extreme diet, which means if you want to get leaner, you're going to have to break it up somehow, okay? You still want to burn body fat, but you can't stay on this extreme diet, so that's when you do fat refeed meals, fat refeed days, fat cycling, diet breaks, etc. So over time, you're still on the diet, but it's broken up, okay? So you're not like constantly on the diet, but you're constantly in a caloric deficit, so you're constantly losing fat. Now, this guy, okay, is already at 8% body fat. He's achieved his goal. I'm assuming he doesn't want to get leaner than that. So he doesn't need to do a refeed, okay, especially a carb refeed. What he needs to do is get out of the diet and get up to a level of calories where he's healthy, happy, hormones functioning properly, good mood, doing good in the gym, feeling good, not tired, not hungry, not irritable. But he has to do it in a way where he doesn't lose all the gains he made. I mean, getting down to 8% body fat's not easy. You don't want to balloon up again. So the question isn't, should he do a refeed? The question is, how does he slowly transition out of the diet? Now, what I recommend, first of all, he asked about a carb refeed. I don't like carb refeeds. Subject of another video. I think you should stay on one diet. Like with me, I'm low carb. Bulk low carb, maintain low carb, cut low carb. You don't have to go low carb, but whatever diet it is you on, I suggest you cut, bulk, and maintain on the same diet, okay? So I suggest, since this guy is doing PSMF, which is protein sparing modified fasting, which is basically a lot of protein, not a lot of fat, not a lot of carbs, not a lot of calories. It's basically just protein he's taking in. I suggest that he slowly increases his fat intake. By slowly increasing his fat intake, he's going to slowly increase his total caloric intake and will eventually end up in like a more standard ketogenic diet that he could stay on. Now, I say slowly increase his caloric intake or his fat intake because if you go straight from like starvation calories, basically extreme diet calories, up to what should be your caloric maintenance in one step, you're going to have to take time for your body to adjust, okay? So, I don't like to call it metabolism, but when people say your metabolism slows down when you're on an extreme diet, what it really means is you're just not, no energy, you're not in the mood, you don't want to expend calories. Now, most of the calories that we expend during the day is through NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That means walking around the store, parking your car a little bit further from the store, walking through the parking lot, taking the steps instead of the elevator, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Leaning forward when I do these videos or waving my hands around, pacing back and forth when you're talking on your phone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, when you go into a caloric deficit for a long time, a severe caloric deficit for a long time, you're going to slow down the amount of unnecessary movement, okay? You're gonna slouch instead of sit, instead of stand, instead of walk, okay? Instead of parking your car farther away from the store and walking across the parking lot, you're gonna lay on your sofa with your phone and like call DoorDash or Walmart delivery or something, Publix delivery, to get your food because you're too lazy to get up and walk to the car. Okay, so that's what metabolism slowing down means. I mean, your heart's still beating at the same rate, you're still breathing at the same rate, everything's still at the same rate. Your metabolism itself hasn't slowed down, but you're burning fewer calories because you're a lazy son of a bitch because you're not getting any food, so you're just laying and moving as little as possible, okay? So I'm gonna just say, let's say a guy weighs 200 pounds and he's on 2,000 calories. Theoretically, his caloric maintenance would be like 3,000, right? But if he's in an extreme diet and he's not moving, this non-exercise activity thermogenesis is down, most of the calories he's burning are not getting burnt anymore. He's not doing anything except getting up, going to the gym, and laying on his ass as much as possible. So he might have a caloric maintenance of, let's say, 2,500 calories, okay? And although it's supposed to be like 3,000. Now, if you were to jump from a 2,000 calorie diet to a 3,000 calorie maintenance diet, yes, he would eventually stabilize and maintain his weight, but in the time that his body needs to adapt to the calories, he would be storing the excess calories. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying here? Let's say he's on a 2,000 calorie diet. His maintenance should be 3,000 calories. He's burning really only 2,500 calories a day. If he were to go into 3,000 calories, his quote, maintenance calories in one step, he'll be in a 750 calorie deficit for a few days. Then he'll kind of speed up his metabolism because we'll get a little bit more energy. So he'll move around a little bit more. So then it will go up to like, maybe 2,250 to like 2,500 calories. So now he's in a 500 a day caloric surplus. Then it will slowly go up to 2,750. Then it'll go up to 3,000 and his weight will eventually stabilize. But like I said, while his metabolism is catching up to his caloric intake, he's going to gain fat. Okay? So what I suggest is you slowly transition out of an extreme diet. That means the guy weighs, 200 pounds. Let's say he goes ahead and he increases calories equal to his body weight in pounds. So he goes from 2,000 calories, he weighs 200 pounds, he goes up to 2,250, waits a couple days. Still hungry, okay, still feeling a little bit weak, still feeling a little bit sluggish. Increase it again, another 200 calories, okay? Still after a couple days, feeling, like really weak, feeling like really hungry, adds in a few more calories, okay? So body weight in pounds equal to calories coming from fat. He would go from basically eating, like in this example, the 200-pound guy would go from eating, 2,000 calories to 2,200 to 24 to 26 to 28 to 3,000. So by going slowly, okay, to his caloric maintenance, he's going to allow his body to adjust, okay? Like I said, maybe his caloric maintenance is 2,250 because he's not moving at all unless necessary. His caloric maintenance should normally be 3,000. Well, if he goes from 2,000 to 2,200, he's going to be right around maintenance. And because he's taking in more calories, he might increase his non-exercise activity thermogenesis. He might perk up a little bit. He might sit up a little bit straight. He might move around a little bit more. Great. So then all of a sudden, his caloric maintenance goes from 2,250 to 2,500. Great. So he goes ahead and he increases the calories again to 2,400. Okay? Getting in more food means that he's got more energy, that he increases his non-exercise activity thermogenesis, maybe he pushes harder in the gym, whatever. The bottom line is by increasing incrementally, he'll increase his calories to what his true maintenance is. Then his maintenance increases because he's got more energy. Okay, increases the calories again. Then he goes ahead and increases, his caloric maintenance, then he increases his calories again. So instead of going from 2,000 to 3,000 calories, he goes 2,000, 22, 24, 26, 28, and then he's around 3,000 calories, okay? Then he finds out a point where he's happy, good mood, not weak, feeling good in the gym, plenty of energy, hormones functioning normally, not starving all the time and in a bad mood, but he has not gotten fat in the process, okay? And this is actually something that I think a lot of people really screw up when they create diets. They get a guy really lean and they're like, all right, dude, see you around, have fun. But he can't stay on a diet for that long, and you don't teach him how to transition out, which means he's basically predestined to go ahead and get fat again, okay? And, if you want to learn how to do this properly, check out my low carb cutting and bulking. I mean, shameless plug time, but the bottom line is I teach you not just how to do like an extreme diet, I teach you how to get your body fat adapted so you don't suffer when you're on an extreme diet, how to determine your goal body weight, how not to cheat in your diet, little tips and tricks, etc. And I also teach you set up the pure protein diet, which is an extreme cutting diet, how to do fat refeeds, fat refeed meals, fat cycling, diet breaks, etc. And when you get to your caloric, your level of leanness you want, how to increase your calories and transition out of the diet without getting fat. Okay, so go ahead and check that out if you're interested. lowcarbcuttingandbulking.com. If you want to be able to ask me questions and get direct advice from me while you're dieting, go ahead and check out the Raw Strength and Muscle Brotherhood. Okay, that one is, it gives you the entire low carb cutting and bulking program, plus the entire Raw Strength and Muscle weighted calisthenics program. Plus, there's a community where you can actually ask me questions, post pictures, post videos of you doing exercises if you want me to review your form, brag, show off when you achieve something, support each other, etc. So like I said, if a question comes up like this, I can actually help you out and tell you, no, don't do a refeed, transition out. Or don't, do a refeed, do a diet break, and then come back into fat cycling, etc., etc., etc. You get the information, but if you're not sure because you don't have the experience, you can actually ask me in the community. And once a week, I'm going to be doing live Zoom calls, so you can ask a question live, talk to me on the Zoom call. If you can't be there, give me the question in advance, I'll answer it, and you can watch the recording of the Zoom call. But that's like the best way to get not just the workout program and the diet, but also to get advice from me anytime you get stuck like a situation like this. Anyway, appreciate the question. You guys are coming up with some awesome questions. I'm trying to answer the ones that everybody would benefit from in videos like this. So keep the questions coming. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.